students, hope you all are fit and fine, and we have started chapter number 7, right, the invention of Victor Wong, and we have done summary. Now students, I am going to start from the book. As I have explained you that Mr. Wonka invented one medicine. It is Wonka White, and which makes people younger. And as he tried his medicine on many, so many were disappeared, right? Their age become minus. So Mr. Wonka decided that he will invent something new. So he asked his assistant Charlie that what is the now he wanted to invent the medicine which make the people older, right? And so he asked to his assistant Charlie that can you give me the name which are the oldest living things on the world, on the earth. So Charlie said that it's tree. So at that time Mr. Wonka said a tree, but it is not deodar or fir or oak, but it is the bristlecone pine tree leaves the oldest, right? We find, and it is a 4,000 years old. We find these trees in the Nevada, USA, right? And he started in his glass, he started traveling in his glass elevator. He rushed all over the world and collecting special items from the oldest living things, and he started traveling, right? And he collected the oldest living things. Now what he has collected, he has collected a pint of sap from a 4,000-year-old bristlecone pine. From bristlecone pine tree, he had collected a pinch of pulp, right? The toenail clippings from a 168-year-old Russian farmer called Petrovich Grogovich, and one farmer who was 168 years old, and his name was Petrovich Grogovich. Mr. Wonka had taken his nail, right, of toe. An egg laid by a 200-year-old tortoise belonging to the king of Tonga. And one king of Tonga, he had one tortoise, and the tortoise of 200 years old, and Mr. Wonka had taken egg laid by that tortoise. The tail of a 51-year-old horse in Arabia, and he had taken a tail of one horse from Arabia, and which is of 51 years old. The whiskers of a 36 years old called crumpets, and whiskers of 36 years old cat called crumpets, right? An old flea which had lived on crumpets for 36 years old. And as on the cat, that one old flea was living. Old flea means it's an insect type, and he had taken that also. The tail of a 207-year-old giant rat from Tibet. And there is one rat which is of 207 years old, and it is from Tibet. He had taken tail of that rat. The black teeth of a 97-year-old grim-killing living in a cave on Mount Popocatépetl, right? And one person who was living in he was living in cave, right? And he had taken black teeth, and the person was 97 years old. The knuckle bones of a 700 years Catalu from Peru, and he has taken 700 years Catalu, and he has taken knuckle bones of that Catalu. Now all over the world, Charlie, Mr. Wonka went on, I tracked down very old and ancient animals and took an important little bit of something from each one of them. And then what he said to Charlie, that I tracked down means I found it, I searched very old and ancient animals and took some important little part from each, a hair or an eyebrow. And what he said that I have taken hair or eyebrow or sometimes it was no more than ounce of two of the jam scraped from between its jaw while it was sleeping. While any animal was sleeping, so he has taken the scrapped, right? Means one or two of the jam scrapped on the paws, right? On the toes, right? I had taken that, right? I tracked down the whistle pig, the bobolink, the scrag, the polyfrog, the giant curlicue, the stinging slug, and the venomous quickle. And what he said that I have tracked down, I have found out, I have searched. He has given the name of some, that is whistle pig, the bobolink, the scrog, the polyfrog, and the giant curlicue, and the sting slug, and the venomous squircle, right? Venomous squircle that can spread poison right into your eyes from 50 yards away. Means he has searched all these animals, but there is no time to tell you about them all now. And what Mr. Wonka said that now, right now, I don't have time to tell you everything. Let me just say quickly that in the end, after lots of boiling and bubbling and mixing, let me just say quickly that in the end, after lots of boiling and bubbling and mixing and tasting in my room, right? What he said that I don't have time now to say you everything, but I want to tell you that after lots of boiling, means he has boiled everything that what he has searched, right? And he bubbled it and mixed it properly, and investing room, and what he said that I have mixed all these things, bubbled and boiled it, and I invested in my room inventing, and what he has done in my inventing room. I produced one tiny cup full of black liquid and gave 4 drops of it to a brave 20-year-old Oompa Loompa volunteer to see what happened. And then what he said that what Mr. Wonka said that I have produced 1 cup full of oily black liquid, and I have given that is, and I gave 4 drops of it to one volunteer of 20 years old, that is Oompa Loompa. And what happened? So Charlie asked, what did happen? It was fantastic, cried Mr. Wonka. The moment he swallowed it, he became wrinkling and shriveling up all over, and his hair started dropping off, and his teeth started falling out, right? And Mr. Wonka cried that it was fantastic as the moment he swallowed the liquid. And what happened? His hair was dropping down, and his teeth were falling down. And before I knew it, he suddenly became an old fellow of 75. And suddenly what happened? That 20 years old boy became an old man of 75 years old. And thus, my dear Charlie, was Vita Wong and invented. And what Mr. Wonka said, dear Charlie, in this way, Vita Wong was invented. So students, hope you understand the chapter. Bye. Thank you.
आभार।